Our headlines today. Rail disruption for a second weekend in a row as up to 20,000 workers in the RMT union go on strike. More than half of normal services are expected to run.
Counting the cost of a week of wildfires, officials in Greece say they've dealt with more than 600 and the majority were caused by human hand.
And very different scenes here as headlining the British summer, well, it's rain. But how are festivals doing? I am at Kendal Calling to see how they're coping.
And England's final Ashes test against Australia could go either way. It's finally poised heading into the third day at the Oval, with England still hopeful of levelling the series.
A British-built spacecraft has been deliberately crashed into the Atlantic Ocean after completing its mission to map the Earth's winds. The Airless satellite provided critical information to weather forecasters by firing a laser through the atmosphere to track the movement of air all around the globe. And a reminder that there are just 3 days left to use or swap old stamps. Monday is the last day that non-barcoded stamps can be used. Commemorative and non-barcoded Christmas stamps, though, will still be valid. Let's take a look at the papers, a number of them focusing on the news that the High Court has rejected a legal challenge to the expansion of London's clean air zone. The Guardian says that scientists and doctors have warned political parties not to weaken their positions on policies which are aimed at improving air quality.
Let's have a look at the lead story in the Times newspaper, saying police officers will pledge to investigate all crimes after years of overlooking lower-level offences such as criminal damage, car and bike theft. The paper adds that crime is likely to be a key issue at the next general election. And the Daily Telegraph reporting that thousands of second homeowners are set to pay double the amount of council tax under new housing laws. The paper says the changes are expected to come into effect in 2025.
Are you ever not in the mood to see a big, giant rubber duck?
How big is it exactly?
I can show you. It's the world's largest rubber duck, installed on the Playland beach in New York. You asked how large it is, Charlie. Do you want to take a guess at its height?
Looks approximately 22 metres tall.
Well, it's 18 metres tall.
18, OK.
Yeah, you inflated the inflation of the duck. It weighs 8 tonnes.
See what you did there?
I did. The duck is on tour,
How much
Charlie.
does it weigh?
8 tonnes.
Wow.
Which is, it sounds odd for an inflatable duck, huh? Considering, but it is 18 metres tall.
Is it? Can it go in the water?
Well, I would imagine so, if it's an inflatable. It's on a tour of North America and Canada this summer, and it's been popped along on different beaches, and the idea is to inspire people to visit city waterfronts and conserve natural resources.
Oh, I was still looking at it then. I quite like it.
Good.
If I'm honest, I do actually quite like that.
It's very difficult to say you're never in the mood for a big inflatable rubber duck.
Well, it's not a question you were expecting on a Saturday morning, particularly.
Ah, well, we're not here to deliver the expected.
On that theme of the unexpected, people might have been following what's been going on in Washington. They had these UFO hearings. Have you heard about this?
Fabulous, yes.
Where you know, in some detail, they've been presented with evidence and questions asked about UFOs and all that kind of thing. Hours and hours of testimony from people who say they've seen it. Very legitimate sources, some of them. And I'm just looking at some of the reactions. There's a gentleman called Tim Burchett, who is the Republican representative from Tennessee. This is from The Guardian, who spoke to him immediately after hearing all the evidence. And Tim Burchett said, I don't want to oversimplify it, but how are you going to fly one, in brackets, a spaceship? You've got to have somebody in it. That seems to be pretty simple, doesn't it?
Well,
so his argument is that there must be aliens because there are alien craft, and there has to be someone
but that's ridiculous.
flying it. And the good news...
Drones have no people in them, for a start. So it's a ridiculous thing to say. Also, he's making an assumption that aliens are less clever than us. I mean, what on earth makes him think that aliens can't control aircraft from ages away?
Yeah, but there have been quite a lot of sci-fi films in which they are sort of octopus things inside flying. And can I just say, if this is your thing, the good news is that coming up in a month's time, later this month, there's a new NASA report on UFO sightings. So another official report. So if that is your thing and that's what you want to hear about, there is going to be more forthcoming later in this month.
Good to know. I will actually be interested in that. I will look at that.
It is fascinating.
I would look at that.